I'm 65, I don't go visiting around. Here's why. As we age, our habits and priorities change, and for many of us, that includes cutting back on visiting others. Today, I'll share my personal story of why I decided to hang up my visiting shoes at 65. It's not about disliking people, it's about finding joy, comfort, and meaning in new ways. So, if you've ever wondered why some older folks choose solitude over socializing, or if you're just curious about embracing a simpler life, you're in the right place. Grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. 1. Too many stairs. Let's talk about stairs, those seemingly harmless obstacles that become mountains as we age. When I was younger, climbing stairs wasn't a second thought. But at 65, things have changed. I'll never forget the day I visited my old friend Janet. She had just moved into a beautiful 3-story house. It was stunning, no doubt, but as soon as she invited me in, I realized this visit was going to be different. The stairs were endless. At first, I tried to keep up, smiling, chatting, climbing, but by the second floor, I felt like I'd run a marathon. My knees protested with every step. By the time we reached the top, I was so winded I couldn't enjoy the view Janet raved about. It was a wake-up call. Our bodies speak to us as we age, and I learned to listen. Now, I prioritize my well-being. If a visit means tackling flights of stairs, I politely decline. And you know what? That's okay. Life after 65 isn't about proving you can still do everything. It's about knowing your limits and making choices that bring you peace. One-level living has become my new normal, and it's been a game changer. So, if stairs or any other physical challenge feel like too much, give yourself permission to say no. Your comfort matters, and your health should always come first. Remember, it's not selfish, it's self-care. 2. The tea that wasn't tea incident. Tea is supposed to be comforting, a simple joy that warms both the hands and the heart. But sometimes, even the simplest moments can go hilariously wrong. A few years ago, I visited my neighbor Betty, who has a heart of gold, but a talent for surprising me in the most unexpected ways. She invited me over for tea, and I was looking forward to a soothing cup of Earl Grey, just the way I like it. Instead, Betty handed me a mug filled with something that didn't look or taste like tea. My first sip caught me off guard. It was thick, overly sweet, and completely unfamiliar. "Betty," I said with a polite smile, "this doesn't taste like tea." She beamed and replied, "Oh, it's prune juice. I thought you'd like it." At that moment, I realized something. Visiting can sometimes mean stepping into someone else's world, quirks and all. While I appreciated Betty's gesture, it made me think about how much I value the little comforts of my own home, where I can brew my tea exactly how I like it. This experience taught me that it's okay to set boundaries. Saying no to invitations that might leave you uncomfortable isn't selfish, it's self-respect. Life after 65 is about cherishing what brings you joy and avoiding what doesn't. If that means staying home with a perfect cup of tea, then so be it. Your happiness starts with the choices you make. 3. The gossip fatigue realization. When I was younger, gossip sessions were just part of life. Fun, light-hearted, and a way to bond with friends. But as I've grown older, I've realized that gossip often carries a weight I no longer want to bear. I remember one visit that made this crystal clear. I hadn't seen this friend in years, and I was excited to catch up. But before long, the conversation took a turn. Instead of sharing uplifting stories or reminiscing about old times, we ended up dissecting other people's lives. Who did what wrong? Who fell out with whom? It was all negativity wrapped in chatter. At first, I played along, not wanting to seem out of place. But soon, I felt drained. The room's energy shifted, becoming heavy and suffocating. I found myself staring at my coffee cup, wishing I were anywhere else. It wasn't just the words. It was the realization that this wasn't how I wanted to spend my time anymore. Life is precious, especially as we age. I've learned that my time is better spent on meaningful conversations, shared laughter, and moments that leave me feeling lighter, not weighed down. So now, I choose peace. I avoid gossip because it steals my energy and focus. If you feel the same, remember, it's okay to walk away from conversations that don't serve your well-being. Surround yourself with people who uplift you and watch how much more fulfilling life becomes. 4. The every visit's a sleepover problem. Visits are supposed to be simple. Stop by, have a chat, and then head home. But as I've gotten older, I've learned that visits can sometimes spiral into much more than I bargained for. I'll never forget the day I went to see my friend Josh. We'd planned a quick coffee catch-up, just an hour or two to reconnect. Or so I thought. Josh's hospitality is legendary. He kept offering more coffee, more snacks, and more stories. Before I knew it, the sun had set, and he said, "It's so late. Why don't you stay over?" Out of politeness, I agreed, even though I hadn't packed an overnight bag or planned for this. The next morning turned into a drawn-out breakfast, which led to more conversation. By the end of the weekend, I was ready to collapse, at home, in my own bed. This experience taught me an important lesson. It's okay to set boundaries. As much as I love reconnecting with friends, I've realized that I value my routine and the comfort of my own space. A quick visit doesn't need to turn into a marathon. Now, I've learned to politely but firmly set expectations. I still cherish my friendships, but I know it's okay to prioritize my well-being. For anyone who's struggled with overstaying or overextending during visits, remember, it's perfectly fine to put yourself first. Your time, comfort, and peace are worth it. 5. The out-of-date small talk dilemma. Have you ever sat in a conversation and felt completely out of place? That's exactly how I felt during a visit with my niece not long ago. She's in her 20s, full of energy and excitement about the latest trends, apps, and gadgets. The moment I walked in, she started talking about TikTok dances and smart refrigerators. And there I was, nodding politely, feeling like I'd landed on another planet. It wasn't that I didn't care about her interests. I genuinely enjoy hearing about what excites the younger generation. But the truth is, I couldn't relate. Viral challenges and the newest tech just aren't my world anymore. My mind was wandering to simpler joys, like reading a good book or watching the birds in my garden. This experience helped me realize something important. It's okay to let go of trying to keep up with everything. Life isn't a race to understand every trend or gadget. Instead, it's about focusing on what truly matters to you. Now, I choose conversations that feel meaningful and timeless. It's not about disconnecting from younger generations. It's about finding common ground that fosters genuine connection. If you've ever felt this way, know you're not alone. Embrace the things that bring you joy, and let go of the pressure to keep up with a world that's always moving faster. Simplicity can be a beautiful way to stay grounded and happy. 6. The too much noise dilemma. Sometimes, the noise of visiting others can be more than just literal sound. It's the overwhelming busyness, the chatter, and the constant activity that leaves you feeling drained. As I've grown older, I've noticed how much I value peace and quiet. I remember one family gathering in particular. The house was buzzing with conversations, laughter, and kids running around. It was wonderful seeing everyone, but as the hours passed, I felt myself withdrawing. The noise, the energy, it was too much. My mind craved stillness, a moment to breathe, but in a house full of people, that was impossible. That day, I realized something important. I don't have to put myself in environments that leave me feeling overwhelmed. It's not about avoiding people or being antisocial. It's about recognizing what my soul needs to feel balanced. Now, I choose smaller, quieter settings for socializing, or I host visits at my home, where I can control the atmosphere. It's made all the difference. If you've ever felt this way, know that it's okay to step back. It's not selfish to protect your peace. It's necessary for your well-being. Life after 65 is about cherishing the moments that bring you joy without sacrificing your comfort. So, whether it's a bustling gathering or a noisy restaurant, don't be afraid to say, "This isn't for me." Instead, embrace the quiet spaces where you can truly recharge and feel at ease. 7. The home is heaven realization. There comes a moment when you realize the most peaceful place in the world is right where you are, home. For me, it happened on a quiet Saturday afternoon. I had plans to visit a friend, but as I sat in my favorite chair, with the sun casting a golden glow across the room, I thought to myself, why am I leaving this for anything else? Home isn't just a physical space. It's a feeling of comfort, safety, and contentment. That day, I cancelled my plans, made myself a cup of tea, and spent the afternoon doing nothing extraordinary, reading, listening to the birds outside, and simply enjoying the quiet. It was one of the most fulfilling afternoons I'd had in years. As we age, it's easy to feel pressured to keep up appearances or maintain a social calendar. But I've learned it's okay to prioritize what truly makes you happy. For me, that's my home, my sanctuary. It's where I feel at ease, where I can recharge, and where I'm most myself. If you've ever felt torn between going out and staying in, let this be your reminder. It's okay to choose home. You're not missing out. You're choosing peace. Life is about finding what makes your soul happy. And for me, there's no place better than the comfort of my own space. Listen to your heart, and you'll never go wrong. In conclusion, as we've explored today, there are many reasons why, at 65, I've chosen to step back from visiting others as much as I once did. From the challenges of climbing too many stairs to navigating quirky moments like tea that wasn't tea and the emotional toll of gossip fatigue, every story has taught me something about prioritizing my peace and well-being. We also touched on how visits can turn into unexpected sleepovers, how out-of-date small talk can leave us feeling disconnected, and the realization that too much noise can overwhelm even the best intentions. Above all, I've learned to embrace the simple truth that home is heaven, a place of unmatched comfort and contentment. These moments aren't about avoiding others. They're about finding joy in the little things and knowing your limits. If any of these stories resonate with you, take it as a gentle reminder to prioritize your happiness. Life after 65 is about peace, balance, and embracing what truly matters.